All right, action fans, buckle up and welcome to Action Hero. I'm Adrian.
I'm Julia.
Your guides through the wild world of, well, adrenaline-pumping stories.
Yeah.
And we're serving up those daily doses
Absolutely.
of addictive action, all wrapped up in masterful storytelling that'll leave you wanting more, craving more.
Hooked.
Hooked, exactly.
Yeah.
So today we're diving headfirst into Out of the Dark.
Ooh.
A story about a lonely outcast who becomes, well, let's just say her journey is anything but ordinary.
The premise itself is intriguing. The idea of someone wielding the power of shadows immediately sets a dark and mysterious tone.
Well, it gets dark, all right.
Okay.
So picture this. A village living in fear.
Oh.
Convinced a young girl is a witch because of her unusual connection to shadows.
Interesting.
Call them whispering shadows.
Ooh.
And yeah, it's as eerie as it sounds.
Hmm.
This girl is an outsider, feared and isolated.
Yeah, that isolation is a classic setup, instantly setting her apart. But it sounds like we're dealing with the dark is not evil trope here. Her powers, while unsettling to the villagers, aren't necessarily malicious.
Exactly. And then bam, the sun vanishes,
Wow.
plunging the world into total darkness.
Okay.
The villagers are terrified,
Right.
but our protagonist,
Hmm.
she feels a terrible kinship with the gloom.
Really?
It's a fascinating twist on the typical hero's journey.
It suggests her connection to the shadows runs deeper than just a simple ability. It's almost like she's been waiting for this moment for the world to mirror her internal state.
Like the darkness is a vindication, you know?
Right.
But that's not all. Monstrous creatures, all claws and shadows, emerge from the darkness. The villagers are the first targets. But here's the thing. The creatures aren't attacking out of malice. It's more like indifference.
That's a unique dynamic. It suggests that in this state of darkness, humans are almost insignificant to these creatures.
Yeah.
So where does that leave our protagonist?
She's not prey. She's a curiosity to them. A twisted reflection.
Okay.
And that's when her power ignites. Faced with imminent danger, a spark of defiant rage fuels her abilities.
So it's not a conscious choice to be a hero, it's primal. A survival instinct born out of desperation and this deep connection to the shadows. Her terror becomes a shield. Her despair, a weapon.
The imagery is intense.
Yeah.
But the villagers, instead of feeling grateful, are even more terrified. They see her as a different kind of monster.
It plays into the physical manifestation trope. These creatures are externalized emotions given monstrous form. They embody her fears and inner darkness, now tangible and terrifying. It's fascinating how her journey unfolds. She's following the dwindling light, constantly battling these shadow creatures, which are essentially extensions of her own internal struggles.
Talk about an internal conflict trope.
Right.
She's fighting a war on two fronts, against these external monsters and against the darkness within herself. It makes you wonder what victory even looks like in this situation.
Right. And we can't forget the lonely child trope at play here. Her heroism isn't driven by a desire for recognition or praise. It's born out of necessity, out of a desperate need to survive and maybe find a connection in this chaotic world.
It raises the question of whether being a hero is always a choice or sometimes just a matter of circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
But here's where things get really interesting. The source of the darkness isn't some evil mastermind or malevolent force. It's a crack in reality, a void that's draining the world of light.
That's a brilliant twist. Subverting our expectations and adding a layer of complexity to the conflict, it also connects the protagonist's powers directly to the source of the crisis, making her role even more crucial.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's not just about fighting monsters anymore.
Right.
It's about understanding the very nature of a darkness and light and the fragile balance between them. This revelation forces her to confront not just the creatures, but the origin of their power, her power.
It's a pivotal moment for her, a realization that her connection to the shadows runs deeper than she ever imagined, and that perhaps she holds the key to saving everyone.
And then we come to the climax.
Yeah.
She hurls herself into this void, this abyss of nothingness. Her terror and loneliness, the very things that have haunted her, transform into a defiant light, pushing back against the encroaching darkness. It's a breathtaking moment of transformation.
You can almost feel the shift, right?
Yeah.
From fear and despair to this raw, powerful energy. It speaks to the incredible resilience of the human spirit and the potential for even the most wounded hearts to find strength.
And it's a bittersweet victory.
Yeah.
The light returns, but the world is scarred, forever changed.
Mm.
And our protagonist, despite her sacrifice, remains feared and ostracized.
A classic bittersweet ending trope, but it's so much more than that. It highlights the complexities of heroism and the lasting impact of trauma and fear on both individuals and society as a whole.
Oh.
We see this young girl become this incredible force, saving everyone but still remaining on the outside.
It makes you think about what it truly means to be a hero, right? Is it about the grand gestures and the recognition, or is it about the quiet sacrifices made when no one is watching?
Yeah.
This ending is so powerful because it doesn't tie things up neatly. It leaves you with this lingering sense of unease and a whole lot of questions.
The story ends with this striking image of her holding a faint echo of the stolen star,
Wow.
a symbol of hope, but also a reminder of the burden she now carries and the price she paid for saving a world that still fears her.
It really makes you think, huh? About the weight of power. The idea that even after achieving something extraordinary, you can still be met with fear and rejection.
Yeah. It's a stark reminder that heroism doesn't always come with a happy ending.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It challenges our preconceived notions of what a hero should be and how they should be treated.
Definitely. What struck me was the contrast between her internal transformation and the world's stagnant perception of her. She's grown, she's evolved, but to them, she's still the outcast, the girl associated with the darkness.
Right. And that brings us to the big question, the one that lingers long after the story ends. How would you use such power? Could you master the darkness within yourself, or would you succumb to its allure?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's the beauty of these action hero stories. They don't just provide an escape, they force us to confront these internal dilemmas,
Yeah.
to examine our own capacity for both good and evil.
It's like holding up a mirror to our own souls, right? And sometimes what we see staring back at us can be pretty unsettling. But that's what makes it so compelling.
Exactly. It's that blend of adrenaline-pumping action and thought-provoking themes that keeps us coming back for more.
And on that note, that's a wrap on another Action Hero episode.
Ooh.
Remember to rate and follow for more epic tales of adventure and carnage. We'll be back tomorrow with another story that's sure to get your heart racing.
Until then, keep those imaginations firing. And remember, sometimes the most compelling heroes are the ones who embrace the darkness within.
Stay awesome, everyone.